Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. Hang out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy's Ted.
And today we're going to create a villain. He's not good. He's not evil. Just maybe a little misunderstood.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with us.
Alright, you're not good. You're not evil. You're true neutral. But you're the bad guy. How does that even work? Someone wanted us to wanted to see what that would look like in the game, and it kind of looks like an DnD druid to me.
If you go back to the old school druids, they had to be true neutral and they cared about the balance. And there's even stories of players. I'm thankfully never had to deal with this where DMs would force that neutrality on the players, and a character would have to flip sides during the course of the battle because it's like, no, you're true neutral. Good side's winning. You need to be over there.
Yeah, that's just weird.
I'm thankful to never have to have dealt with it, but there's stories about that out there. But true neutral is about the balance and preserving the balance, and depending upon how far right or far left that your party is going to be, it's very easy to hit something that the middle is what's out there. If you look at constructs and mechanics, they're about neutrality. They're in the middle, and you could be wandering through and you're really good or you're really evil, and that's going to set you into conflict with them.
There could be a true neutral champion. Let's use that for lack of a better word, right? And they've championed the cause of neutrality, and maybe they've made it their mission to kind of like target champions of good and evil. And they don't really care if you're good or evil, but these, they've decided that these beings are too powerful. They sway the side one way or the other too much. The whole world is out of balance when this happens. So they've taken it upon themselves, or maybe their deity has deemed this is their divine quest, is to make things equal. So they begin, they start this campaign where they assassinate champions for either side that have gotten too strong.
So this could be an entire order. You could have druids, clerics, paladins, all associated with it, that they're out there. And when a tide rises, again, good or evil doesn't make a difference. Could be law or chaos that's rising, and they're in that pool in the middle, and they want everything calm and steady.
Well, maybe because they feel like when one side rises above the other, it creates conflict, right? And the only way to keep that conflict from happening is to stop it before it starts. So they said about that. And you can also take it in other ways too, like, wilderness versus civilization, is another bet and would be very druidic as well if you're going with that idea. It's also funny because this one has been on our list for a little while, and it's kind of apropos since with the announcement with the release of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Not to be confused with Tomb, but Tome of Foes.
Well, because Mordenkainen was about balance. That was something that he really cared about.
He created the 8 just for that purpose, in order to keep the balance in the cosmos, and that was like his shtick. Like, he would be a good example of a villain that you could throw into your campaign world, because he doesn't believe what's happening is the proper order of things.
So with neutrality, the power is something, not all can be trusted to have it. If you're far from the middle, again, law, chaos, good, evil, how does he know or she know that you're going to use it properly? It's best to just not have it. And that could be the angle.
Well, and I could also see, this character like applying that motto, that adage of, nature abhors a vacuum to what they do, where, whether it's a he or she, they're like, oh, well, you know what, if you take away all the evil, you've created this vacuum because there's, something has to fill it. And so they balance it out by trying to eliminate some of the good, or vice versa. Or like you said, you could work off of the law and chaos axis as well. Or maybe they go the other way. Maybe they always try to see that there's equal amounts of everything, and this like this forever raging conflict that is going on, because that becomes its own check and balance, and they see it as their part in things to make sure no one side ever truly wins. Yeah, so it could literally be like this eternal war that's going on. Maybe it happens on another plane or across the planes somewhere else, and the players come across the and they kind of stumble upon, wait a minute, how long is this going on? No one's won? Why not? What's going on? And they realize that there's this one individual who actually has kept it perpetuating over, decades, centuries, millennia, whatever it is, and is seen to the fact that no one side ever kind of gets the upper hand.
So I see if you're gonna make this character that's doing this, that's having this massive war going, like he's got to have some grand magic item or artifact that is a 4-point scale, and as things tip one way or the other, he's like, okay, well, how do I shift? And he's very 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 much the tactician. So he's got to well, I need to move forces here to help lift that up, and I need to move forces there, to counteract what they're doing here. Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun to get into that campaign for a long time, and then find this character and say that, oh, literally he's stopped negotiations through magic and minions. He's changed the course of battles, or multiple battles, so that it keeps things going, because a rout could end the war, and he can't have that happen.
And and it could be because he believes this is what holds the universe in balance, or it could be that it entertains him to keep this war going forever, and he's just an observer, and then he just tweaks things a little bit when things go too far one way or the other. And you're right, it could be an interesting campaign where we'll call it the war world campaign, right, where the players are just playing in this cosmic war and going adventures around it, and maybe they're getting thwarted sometimes, maybe they're getting hired to thwart other things other times, and they might be getting hired by the same person over and over again, and they don't even know it until they finally stumble upon the clues and figure it out that this one individual has never let these conflicts kind of take their course and finish. And also maybe they're doing something behind the scenes to make sure, each side always has enough resources or minions or followers, whatever it is they need to keep it going on and on and on.
Well, this figure, the old druids had the 1,000 faces or whatever it was back in the day. So that person could literally be the one hiring everybody, or being hired, and they could just, oh, well, I'm going to put on a face to go talk to them, and I'm going to put on a face to go talk to them, and every time, you pay me to make this happen. Okay, you need funds. Oh, here you go. So literally, the money coming from the good is going to wind up in the evil, and vice versa, as all of this rages on without anyone actually knowing about it.
Now, the other idea, too, is like a druid who's dedicated their life to maintaining the balance, but they've gone mad. And that's kind of why they've gone too far. Not the war world scenario, but, one where there is a druid, and he is constantly, getting evil humanoids to rise up against good, or helping good conquer the monstrous humanoids, or whatever he feels like he needs to do to maintain the balance. But he does it in kind of in horrific ways, because he's kind of he's gone mad with the impossible task of maintaining the balance, when it turns out the balance kind of will just kind of maintain itself if you leave it alone, more or less. But he's taken it upon himself to always no, I have to fix it.
You could take that druid and go in a slight direction. You had mentioned, civilization versus nature, and you could have a druid or a champion of nature. It could be a ranger or barbarian, that they're neutral, but they're against civilization, and therefore anyone that's for it and championing it is going to be against their causes. They're not wanting to be evil. They're not about slaughtering it all, but they're against things progressing into their area, their territory, and that's going to create conflict.
Right, that is a less crazy way of going about it. Yes. As well, a more balanced way of it's just a simple conflict of civilization encroaching upon the wilderness, and and this drone going, no, you've gotten as much as you're going to get. We're drawing the line here.
It stops here, right here.
No, so these are definitely some ways you could tackle using a true neutral character as your villain. He's not evil. He's not good. He's just a little misunderstood. Now, let us know how you would use a true neutral villain in your game, or maybe you already have. We got a place for it. That's down in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out the store over on nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.